Hey you guys, it's Carolyn from Homesteading Family, and today we're going to be talking about how to make an old Amish home remedy for deep chest congestion. It's super simple. It's only going to take you a couple minutes to make, and you're going to be amazed at how effective this remedy is. Okay, you guys, now this remedy I learned about from an old order Amish grandma who was able to share this with me as a remedy that her mom used, that it was a very common remedy to use in their community if somebody got a viral pneumonia. This is so simple, and yet you'll be amazed at how effective it is. Now, it's just going to take a minute to make, and it only has a few ingredients. One of them is a medium-sized onion. You know, if you don't have medium size, just go with the size that you have. I know that the Amish were amazing and are amazing at just using the resources they have on hand. So right here I'm using a yellow onion. You could use whatever onion you want. If you have red onions in the house, you could use that. White onions would be good. But yellow onions really are ideal, mostly because they're really going to make you cry a lot faster. It means they've got some of those stronger fumes, which is really what you want. Okay, so I'm going to try not to cry while doing this, and I'm just going to put this in a fairly small dice. Now, nobody's going to be eating this, so it doesn't have to be perfect. I'm already starting to cry. This is a very strong onion. Okay, and I'm kind of making a mess of it, trying to go fast and not to cry too much. All right, so this is all that you, this is the hardest part of the recipe, is not crying while you're on camera, while you're making it. Okay, so I have my onion. It's diced fairly fine. Some people like to grind this in a food processor to get it really fine, which would work really well. But you know what? This works quite well also. Whenever I'm chopping an onion and I start to cry, I like to tease my children and say, "Boo-hoo, Mama's so sad." And they all laugh. They think that's so funny. Okay, so now I have approximately a cup of chopped onion, and you don't need to measure exactly, but what you're looking for is about half of the volume of your onion in salt. So I'm going to put approximately a half cup of salt on this. Now remember, nobody's going to eat this, so you don't have to worry about the salt content. What the salt does is it pulls the juices out of the onion, which is the healing properties. It's going to get that all nice and juicy and get that out of there. Now, you have a few different options at this point. If you have a microwave on hand, the easiest is just to stick this whole thing in the microwave for 1 minute. You're just trying to heat it up. You don't want it so hot that it's going to burn whoever needs the treatment. And so you want to make sure it's not that hot, but you do want to heat it up. You could also put this into a skillet and just heat it up for a minute. You're not really trying to cook it at all. You're just waiting until you see it start to get a tiny bit wet. All you're looking for. It's not going to take very long. Now, I'm just going to skip right on ahead to the next step here to show you guys what we're going to do. Now, this is probably the hardest part of this whole thing, is to figure out what you are going to make the poultice wrapping in. So we're going to do a chest poultice here, and I have just good old cheesecloth. This is a little bit higher grade than what you would normally get just on the shelf at your grocery store. This I actually do use for making cheese. And it's really, really good for this because it's very easy to work with. Now, what you're looking to do is make a package of this that holds together, doesn't let any of the onions out, but it's gonna let this sit right on your chest and let the juices from the onion kind of ooze onto your chest. This is very similar to making a mustard pack for your chest. Okay, so I'm just gonna lay that out and I'm gonna spread it around a little bit. Now I'm gonna use my extra cloth here to completely enclose this, because you know, whoever's gonna be getting this done is probably laying on your couch, they might be in their bed. This is making my nose run and my eyes run. This is very effective. You can see it's already starting to loosen everything up. And so you just don't want any onion getting out and getting all into the bed. That'd be an awful wreck. So some people will even do a quick couple stitches on this with a thread. I've seen people use tape and just tape this down just to kind of close up the packet. Now, I'm gonna set this aside so I don't cry anymore. Now, what you wanna do is get your patient to lie into a bed or on a couch on a nice flat surface and to get very comfortable, because they'll need to lay there for about 2 hours. If they're sick, that's a great thing for them to do anyways. And they'll need to be on their back. Preferably if they have some heavy congestion, they should be propped up on some pillows, which is how they should probably be sleeping anyways in that state of heavy congestion. Then you're gonna take a little bit of olive oil and oil their bare chest. This just protects their skin from getting any direct onion juices on it and getting irritated from the onion juices. Once you do that, you're gonna pick up your entire little packet here. It's a little hard to do, but you're gonna pick it right up and you're gonna move it right on over onto the person's chest. Now, over the top of that, you're gonna wanna put a bath towel or some type of towel, probably not one of your best ones in the house, because if you remember, they just got a little bit of oil on their chest. Then you'll want to cover that with a heat pad or a heated up rice pad, something like that if you can, and then some blankets on top of that. If you don't have a heat pad, then just going for the blankets will work also. Again, make sure that you check that that compress is not too hot for their skin. You don't want to burn them. That is not the action that we're taking at all with this. So just make sure that you test it on your wrist and it's not too hot and not going to cause them discomfort. They should lay in that way for 2 hours. Now, this, you may see immediate results from this, but more likely you'll have to do a couple treatments. If somebody is very ill, then you know there's just nothing wrong with doing the front for 2 hours, doing the same thing on their back for a couple hours, and then doing it again on their front for their hours and their back for a few hours. Maybe taking some breaks in between. Doing this twice a day there's absolutely nothing wrong with it and can be incredibly helpful. This is such an easy remedy. You have everything you need on hand. All you have to do is get somebody to lay still for 2 hours and you have an amazingly potent home remedy to treat deep congestion. Take care, you guys. Be healthy, be well.